Welcome to the Secret Underground Laboratory Recovery and Salvage, where rude mechanicals do magic. Hello, I'm Bronze Age, Director of the Secret Underground Laboratory Recovery and Salvage. And today on Chair Hospital, we'll be working on a classic wobbly chair. Now this is a Windsor chair, so called because the seat is a single slab and everything else on the chair sticks in the holes drilled in the slab. Legend has it that King George III, American Revolution King George, went to someone's house and sat in a chair like this and thought, gee, this is so great, I'm going to buy a bunch of them for my castle. And took them back to Windsor Castle. I don't think that story's true, but it's probably as true as any other story. Now what we also have here on this one is the hook back. And this one's a little bit unusual because on the back here, we've got these two braces. Because one of the problems with this design of chair is that when you sit in it and lean back, it puts a tremendous amount of stress at this joint like right here. And I see a lot of them come in with these pieces loose, the back spindles loose and all. But this two supports eliminates that problem. And these are still nice and solid. The reason it's in here today is because it's the bottom that's coming apart. Now how easy this repair is really depends on how easy it is to take the chair apart. The original glue which would have been used to put this together is called hide glue, which is actually made from horse hides, as in sending a horse to the glue factory. But usually by this point in life, someone has gone back and glued it back together with the modern PVA glues, or even worse, driven nails in it. But the hide glue breaks down with time, moisture and humidity, because it is water soluble. And see how many of these. Now, these joints here feel nice and solid. I don't want to knock those apart. But these legs are going to come out, and I'll be able to clean up all the old glue, including some of the modern glue people have put in there that didn't penetrate the wood, so it didn't hold. Now, the first thing I need to do is get as much of this old glue out of these holes as I can. And for that, I have a special tool, which is known as the junk chisel. The junk chisel is exactly what it sounds like. This one's fairly old. I have no idea how old. But it was pretty cheap chisel when it was new, and then someone left it out in the rain. So I've cleaned it up, got most of the rust off of it. And what I've done is I've ground the edges so that I've got sharp corners here. And when I stick it in here, it will scrape away a good bit of the glue, especially down in the bottom. I'll just go around all four corners here and knock as much of this out as I can. Now getting the glue off the tenons, it's pretty straightforward. I've got a piece of 100 grit sandpaper that I've glued a strip of duct tape to the back of it. And I'm just going to go around all of them and scuff this up, and I'll have a good glue surface. On this one, you can see that some of the wood has been lost, probably due to somebody using regular wood glue, putting it back together, and so the chips stayed in the bottom of the hole when it came loose. And we'll have to deal with that. Now the dry fit is the most important part of any kind of repair, where you're going to have to be using glue, because that's when you figure out, first, does everything actually fit, and how you're going to clamp it. And in this case, these three are fairly good. They fit down in the hole nice and snug. But this one just wobbles around, and that's the one with the missing chips on the end here. So the first thing I've got to do is figure out what I'm going to do about that before I actually start applying glue to it. I'm using hide glue for the reassembly, which is made from animal byproducts. And the good legs, you get a brush in the hole there, and a good coat. Do the same with the rest of them. But for this loose leg, the one with the chips missing, this one here, I have to do something to fill in this gap because it is really loose. And what I have is some fine sawdust. And I just dip that down in there. Put a little, shake a little bit of it off. And then a liberal brush down in the hole. And when that sets up, that'll fill in that gap and make a nice solid connection. Now clamping this together is always kind of a challenge. And my preferred method is to use nylon rope. It's smooth, so it slips easily around all these round surfaces. And then cinch it down tight. Put a little tension on it. Make sure all the joints are nice and seated. Now this gets the bottom framework here, but again you have the problem of getting the legs down into the seat slab. And for that, I prefer to rely on gravity. Now this will let the glue joints dry with the chair sitting relatively flat on the floor. And in the morning I can take the rope off and this will be ready to go back to the customer. Well, everybody can appreciate a comfortable chair that doesn't feel like you're in some sort of hazard when you sit down in it. So, this is Bronze Age for the Secret Underground Laboratory Recovery and Salvage, and I appreciate you watching this video all the way to the end. I would also appreciate it if you would click the like and subscribe if you haven't already. Any comments, questions, I respond to all. And again, thank you for watching.